Hello, good morning and ahoy there. You join me today on today's walk. I'm at the site of Qutab Minar in Delhi, still here in Delhi. Qutab Minar, I'll show you in a minute. It's a very historic site here in Delhi. It's not too far from where I live. Not quite sure what's going on today, but because it's a warts and all footage that I like to do, I'll just keep filming. The security just came rushing out a minute ago with whistles, which they like to do here. They blow whistles, and they've thrown everyone out. So what's going on, I don't know. I got here and they said, oh, you normally have to pay to come. They do a weird thing here, all over India. You go to pay to go in somewhere and they'll say foreigners' price is this, locals' price is this, and I think you wouldn't get away with that in the UK, would you? But that's what they do here. They say, so I think for foreigners to get in here it's like 550 rupees, and for locals it's 35 rupees. But what are you going to do? You can't argue with it, so you just pay it and come in. But it's worth coming here. I come here every couple of months. I don't go mad. I come here every now and again, and just for a walk. I tend to come really early, just because it's more peaceful. But I didn't realise today when I got here. They said, oh, it's free to get in today, and I said, why is that? And they said because it's a World Yoga Day. So I thought, okay, I'll have a look. And okay, there's no one doing yoga. There's nobody here doing yoga. I thought maybe there'd be something. I don't do yoga either, so I can't judge. But it's free to get in, so it means it's quite a lot busier here today, which may be why the security have just upped the ante on chucking people out. But so they're just marching around with whistles, telling people get out. So I've hidden up here in the trees. One of them just looked at me a minute ago over a bush and gave me a funny look and went away. So I don't know what's going on. They're chucking people out, but we'll see. We'll play it by ears, as I say. What was I saying earlier? It's not bells and whistles. I'm trying to think. Warts and all. I don't do editing. I don't do cutting. I don't do music. I don't do anything like that in it. I just film it as it's happening, and we'll see what it is. So the Qutab Minar, it's a tower. I don't know if you probably knew that already. I didn't when I first came here. It's the world's tallest brick minaret. And it was built, I know this, it was built in 1199. It's from when this part of India was Islamic in 1199. And they built this, I'll show it to you, rather than me just yakking on about it. There it is. So it's the world's tallest brick-built minaret, and it's in 5 stages. You can see the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one below that there, and it's very impressive. This whole site's really impressive. You can walk around here and pretend you're in an Indiana Jones film. It's very ancient. There's lots of different cultures and religions represented here, although you have to really look for some of them because they've been chiselled off or erased. But you'll see little remnants here of like a little Ganesh here and there, or another deity here and there, and they've been removed from when it was taken over. But the Qutab Minar, that was built for this place in 1199. So it's an interesting place. Had a tragedy in the 80s, I think it was 81, when a group of school children came to visit, if I remember rightly. We came here on a guided walk about a year ago and they told us all about it. But a group of school kids went up there and something happened on the stairs, causing a stampede, if I remember rightly. And they were killed. A lot of them died up there. And ever since then, you can't go up. It's closed to the public. I think special guests are allowed up there. I should imagine if you're very famous, you're allowed up the top. But it's closed to anyone else now. You can walk up to it, except for today, because the security guards are being quite vigilant and chucking everyone out. But I'm sure there's a reason for that. They don't have to tell you why, do they? They just come up and say, get out. But it is quite impressive. I come here at night sometimes, or certainly when it gets darker, and have a look at it. And they light it all up, and it looks like something from Lord of the Rings. You can imagine Saruman standing at the top with a load of his, what are they called, Uruk-hai, hanging about round the bottom. It's probably being massively disrespectful comparing it to that, but that's what it reminded me of when I saw it in the dark the first time. And it's really nice. It's a nice place to come. I know when the British were here, when they colonised India, they built a tea room at the very top, up there. They built a little tea room just for them. It can't have been very... Actually, it's still here. I don't know where it is, but they built a little tea room up there for them to hang around in and have cups of tea and an awfully spiffing time and looking down on everything else. And when they were thrown out, they were told, take that down with you. On your way out, get that bloody tea room down. And the tea room is on ground level somewhere around here. I'm going to hide because that bloke's blowing whistles again and throwing people out, so I'm going to hide up by this tree. And the tea room was brought down, and it's a bit like a shed somewhere. I think it's on the way out. I'll have a look if I can see it on the way out. But yeah, fun's over, lads. Party's over. Get your tea room and bugger off. So it's Sunday today. It's a bit later than I would normally do one of these, so I was a bit busy this morning. So it's what is it now? Well, it's 5 to midday now. So I'm a bit later than usual. Got me to thinking about Sundays actually, because obviously it's back to work tomorrow, and traditionally Sundays used to give me terrible anxiety, really bad, and it'd start, I mean towards the end of it really getting bad, it would start on a sort of Friday evening, but as time went on, you know, I sort of calming it down. Sundays were awful from sort of 2 o'clock onwards, and you dread it. And I've always maintained that's why in the UK, that's why they put peaceful programmes on a Sunday evening, like That's Life or Heartbeat or Where the Heart Is, and they've all got these gentle soporific theme tunes, and I think it's because nationally people have this pang of anxiety about going back to bloody work on Monday, and I think they think we have to put something out there to calm them all down, or there's going to be some kind of national meltdown to stop it from happening. But you can't help but think, why is this? What's this all about? Why do we have this? Why do we have this awful national pastime of anxiety attacks every Sunday evening? And I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I can't help but wonder. I mean, I'm going back to the 80s when they'd put these kind of shows on. When I was a kid. Obviously I wasn't going to work then, but I did used to get the pangs on a Sunday night before going to school. Just going to step over this rope here that the security guard's helpfully put across. He's throwing everyone out and putting ropes across exits. And so you'd get this awful pang. And hang on, let's have a look around here. I don't know what's going on. Can you hear the whistles? It's like boop, 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 ow, ow, ow. I hope I'm not walking through some terrible incident that's going on. And there's me going on, oh, people get anxiety on Sundays and there's something terrible happening. But I don't think there is. I think maybe it's a midday close. Early finish on a Sunday possibly. Who knows? Who knows? Well, we can film it. We'll have a look. We'll see where we're all going. Yeah, here we go. It's official. It's official. Get out. So we'll probably be stopped on the way by people asking who we are and what we're doing. So, there we go. So he's telling us to get out. As you can see, everybody's pretty much leaving. All on the way out. Park is closing. He's saying, for the love of God, please get out. Everybody get out, come on. So we're going, we're going to go. It's not just me, he's not just throwing me out, he's throwing out everybody. It's clearly an organised closure. Not sure why, it doesn't say that on anything about coming in. I don't say come in for 10 minutes and we'll fling you out. But there you have it. Everybody out. I'm going to go out through this archway and we'll see where I can go then. See if it takes us a bit of a closer way around. Okay. Hey guys, how you doing? Good to see you again.
Hey, we all are siblings. We are visiting this place together.
We're all visiting together, man.
Oh, what are you riding in this?
Oh no, it's just because I have a bad memory.
Oh.
Why is he throwing everyone out? He's telling everybody to get out.
Because of some politicians are coming to visit this place.
Oh, the VIPs.
The VIP culture.
Oh, let's run.
Very, very famous in India.
VIP culture rules everything. It took me 20 minutes to cross the road the other day because a VIP was coming, and the policeman told me, face the other way, I don't want you looking at it.
Why is that?
I don't know who it was, maybe it was Mr. Modi, I don't know, but they didn't want me seeing him, and he didn't want to be looked at. I was like, okay, I don't want to look anyway, so I left.
It is very famous in India. See, there are thousands of people visiting today in Qutab Minar. And
Yeah, yoga day.
Because of 2 to 3 people, they want everyone to leave.
Oh well, if they're important, I'll go.
Yeah.
Have a good one, guys, take it easy. Take care, all the best. So there you have it, it's a VIP is coming, so everyone must leave. They have the thing here, they call it VIP culture. And basically, what I was just saying to that guy there, it can take you like 20 minutes to cross the road sometimes, because you'll go to cross the street and a copper will come running up and say, no, you're not leaving, you can't cross the road here. There's a police officer coming, sorry, I'm getting all a jumble. There's a politician coming, and you can't cross. You have to wait until the VIPs are crossed or done what they're doing, because they don't want to be disturbed by you. And so that's the way it is. What can you do? You can't start arguing with people saying, I don't think this is right. But even though the people who live here don't think it's right, and you just go along with it. You just think, okay, fair enough. But that did actually happen. I had an armed policeman come up to me, and he said, you can't cross here. So I said, oh, fair enough. It must be someone really important, because then he said, face away, face that wall. I don't want you seeing them. So I said, okay, fair enough. So I faced away, and then this big car came along, went past, and they said, okay, you can turn back and leave now. I had no idea who it was. Maybe it was the Prime Minister. But yeah, there's just no point arguing, is there? Just go along with it. So yeah, as I was saying, Sunday used to be a day rife with anxiety about what you have to do the following day, be it school or, not to a lesser extent school, but certainly work. And I think, I'm coming up for retirement now, as you know, so maybe that's had a lessening effect on it. Maybe, hey man, maybe that's lessened it off, maybe because I'm older now and you feel like, look, I've seen it all, I've seen all your problems. You can throw at me and they don't hurt, so it doesn't hurt anymore. Maybe that's something to do with it. Maybe it's because, to cope with not wanting to go back in on the Monday, I used to go and have a few drinks. Maybe starting on the Friday night. Celebrating on a Friday, you've got through another week. Saturday would be, just doubling up on what you've just done. And so on into possibly Sunday afternoon. Leading to Sunday evening, thinking, oh God, what have I done? And you're sort of still recovering from the Friday. All in all, bad start to the week, because you've got that poison rattling around in your head. And it does you no good. It really is not a good way to start a week. It's one of the things that I really don't miss about my drinking days, is the jingle jangle nerves on a Sunday night. Getting that out of the system. We're on our way out now. Getting that out of the system and not having that anxiety, it's really worth doing. It's really worth, as I always say, going for a walk is a really worthwhile exercise to do, and it really is, and I swear by it. But not drinking in the first place as well, you have to have it to walk out. Really worth doing. Try to keep it out of your system or down as much as you can. Well, I'm going to go up through this gate here. There we go. And we're out. So it wasn't quite the visit to Qutab Minar I had planned. But yeah, I'm rambling on a little bit about anxiety here still. So, just looking where I'm going as well. So yeah, I've found as I'm getting older with the retirement coming up and things like that, that the Sundays don't bother me so much. No, I'm good, thank you.
Hello.
Hey bro. So basically we're getting out now, and this is just getting away. So what normally happens is when you come out of anywhere remotely touristy in Delhi, there'll be like an army of little tuk-tuks, and the drivers will come up and say, "Where are you going?" and they'll offer to take you. And they're usually alright, to be honest with you, for doing their job. I usually say no, purely because I can't be bothered with the hassle of negotiating a price with them and then getting in and telling them I just can't be bothered, so I tend to stick to Uber or walk. Get this chap here. That's a ludicrously high curb. It's not quite as hot and sunny as it has been recently. A bit more overcast and getting a bit cooler. I think the long-awaited monsoon is on its way. Been waiting for it for... It's about a week overdue, so everyone's anxiously waiting for the rains now. Not quite sure where I'm going now, but I'm just heading away, and at some point we'll be on our way back again. There we go. So I went back to the doctors the other day, because as you know, I started doing these because I'd recently got the ADHD diagnosis thing, and I've gone to the doctors just to have a general checkup, and he told me that my cholesterol and blood sugars were way too high and that I had to bring them down. So I had my bloods done again a couple of days ago, and I brought them down. They've come right down. Now the doctor wanted to put me on statins, which I really don't want to go on. I'm not keen on the idea at all. I don't think... It's up to you, you know what you do. If you're on them and they work, a friend of mine's on them and he loves them. But I don't want to be on them. I just feel like if I don't have to take a tablet, if I can avoid it, I will. So that's what I've been doing. And I've brought it down. And I've brought it down by doing loads of this walking. I think this is a buy anyway. I've got to go back to the doctors to discuss it. But I've had my bloods done, they've come back, everything looks great. And I think it's because I'm exercising, walking. I've been drinking this weird drink that I make every morning. It's 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and a touch of, cinnamon. And they'll just knock it back. And it's quite hot, it's a bit spicy. But I think it's good for you. Hey man! It's quite good for the cholesterol apparently, and it seems to be working. But the other thing that I think is working, it's really noisy here, the other thing that I think is working is the stress. And I mean, they say the 3 S's will kill you, or get you. That's salt, sugar and stress. So I've cut them all out as much as I can. Salt, quite difficult because they sneak it into everything. And I've got quite adept now at reading ingredients on things. And sugar equally. They put that in more things, I think, than salt. It's in everything. So again, I've had to learn to read the ingredients, to find sneaky ways that they hide it in, and they call it different things, which I think should be illegal, but clearly isn't, because they do it. So I'm avoiding them by doing that and cooking most of my own food, because at least that way I know what's going in it. And the stress, I'm really doing my best with it. I'm really am making a really strong mental effort to avoid it, and it seems to be working. And I sort of do it in, have you heard of cloud bursting? I don't know who used to do it. I think it was Elvis. But you can, I don't know who it was that used to do it, but I think it was Elvis Presley. He used to stare at clouds and imagine bursting them, like, you know, splitting them up. It was like a hobby that he had. I'm gonna go in here, it's a nice little park, seems a bit more peaceful. It was a hobby that he had, and he'd say, "Hey man, I'm going to go do some cloud bursting." And I think this is when he was at the height of his powers, and he just thought he could do whatever he wanted to, and he probably could. But he'd go and stare at clouds. Anyway, I'm using the same principle with stress. So if I'm at my desk or at home or wherever, and the dark clouds of stress start encroaching in, and you can use the same analogy for depression, I suppose, but I'm using it for stress. When it starts creeping in and you're like, this is mounting up, this is getting a bit much, this is not what I want. It's almost like telling it to F off. I sort of will it away. I just think, I'm not having this. I'm not taking this on. Not today. You're not hurting me, basically. And I've started seeing stress as almost as an attack. If someone's bringing me the stress, then I do see it as a silent attack, especially if they know they're doing it. But I just think, I'm not going to rise to this and argue with you, but I am going to wear an invisible suit of armour on this and say, no, we're not having it, and push it away. And it seems to be working. I mean, at the moment I work in an office, which I've never done before, and quite naively, because I've always worked in more physical lines of work, but quite naively I sort of had this image that the office would, okay, it'd have some deadlines and it would have some work-related stresses that you kind of think, office stress, what's that going to be? But I completely underestimated the levels of stress, the overall stress that you feel, this weight, the physical weight that you feel you're carrying with it sometimes. And that's from targets, that's from expectations, mostly put on myself, if I'm honest with you, because very rarely does someone come up to my desk and say, hey, do this. But there are obviously, emails and things like this, and little messages pinging up all the time. But there's no threat to them. All of these so-called perceived threats are coming from me. It's me doing it. It's me saying, oh God, I've got to get that done. Looking at the clock, oh God, I'm up against the clock. I need to get this done. When really, if you're being honest with yourself and looking back, really thinking, this is all against me, isn't it? It's me doing this. It's me attacking myself. Who was it that said, in my life I've been through some terrible things in my life, and some of them have actually happened, or something like that. And I'm terrible for that, and I don't know if it's the ADHD, the imposter syndrome, the getting into jobs and then thinking, you are well out of your depth here. You can't do this, and everyone knows it. Everybody thinks you're an idiot. Because I think differently, and I go about tasks differently, and I am different. And so that comes with a certain level of ostracisation, and I don't say loneliness because I don't get lonely, because I like my own company. I think you only get lonely when you don't like yourself, and I do. But certainly solitude, it comes with, I can't complain about it because I like it, but it certainly does come with a large level of imposter syndrome, where you just think any minute now I'm going to get found out, someone's going to come up to my desk in a minute and say, you don't know what you're doing, get out. And when I look at what other people are doing afterwards and being realistic about it, I think, I'm doing the same as everyone else. But in the moment, that doesn't happen. In the moment, it's awful, and it's overawing, and it's horrible. It's just an uncomfortable feeling that you get, and it's a cloud. And the best thing you can do with it is to tell it to go away. Hi. Is to just tell it to go away, push it away mentally. And it's helped. It really has helped. But as I say, talking about like office work, when I was younger, if someone had said, oh, workplace injuries, damaging workplaces or dangerous workplaces, obviously, being young and male, you start thinking about like firemen or working at a coal mine or working on an oil well. You think, yeah, those are the dangerous jobs. And now I look at it with the salt, sugar and stress analogy, it's most jobs. And I don't know if they've got more stressful as the years have gone on. I think they have. But they're all dangerous. They're all really, really dangerous. I mean, I've lost I lost a friend at work a good few years ago now, and who died tragically. And now I'm not saying that the whole workplace should have come to a stop and, let the music stop playing and let the birds stop singing. That's not what I'm saying at all. But a bit more recognition from the management that someone had died and they'd lost someone wouldn't have gone amiss. I was also, a few years back now, I was doing some work in a factory, making these massive wooden frames. It was only like a bit-time job while I was waiting for something else to come through. And this guy had the most horrific workplace injury I've ever seen in my life. All due to pressures put on him by management. Some of it himself, but a lot of it by management. And I mean, it was like something from a horror film that we saw happen to this guy. And again, the managers, I don't know what I'm expecting them to do. I really don't. But I mean, they just stopped us all from working for 5 minutes and just stood solemnly where the guy had this accident. And we all just stood there stunned and in shock, and they just stood there for 5 minutes, had like a 5-minute silence, and then said, make sure none of you do that. And that was it, back to work. Okay lads, back to stuff. And of course, you can't then start saying, I can't work now. I've got some kind of PTSD about this. You have to just carry on. But what I'm saying, I mean, that was down to huge levels of stress put on this guy, saying we have to get this done, this has to be out the door by this time, this has to be done. And so, against his better judgment possibly, this guy said, well, I'll do that then. And he broke the health and safety rules and paid the price for it. And I mean, the point I'm trying to make, I think, is don't. I mean, I'm coming up for retirement. Every single job I've had, bar the odd one or two, has been colossally stressful. Where you're waking up way too early in the morning and staring at the ceiling because you've got the jingle jangles, and you're just like staring at the ceiling, preparing yourself for what you've got to go and do, and getting your mind ready for another day of this, and getting to the end of the week being like, oh God, just wishing your life away, thinking, oh God, I've got through another one, I've done it again, that's another one gone. Now the toll that takes on the body and the mind over the course of years is shocking. I mean, you might as well be just drinking pints of salt water and eating sugar, because it's killing you. As Radiohead say, the job that slowly kills you. And when I heard that when I was a young man, I was just thinking, it's just stressing it. And I've really started taking it seriously as I've got older, and possibly too late, to be honest with you, but this is very probably my last job. And when I look back at it now and I realise the amount of stress that I've put myself and people around me through for very little achievement, very little reward, apart from physical rewards, apart from the material rewards, but spiritual rewards and mental rewards, I don't think so. And I can honestly say none of that stress has been worth it. Not a moment do I come away from it feeling I've achieved something from that. At no point do I feel, I'm really glad I put myself through that stress. That weekend that I ruined that time for myself, that bank holiday weekend that I ruined from Thursday till Sunday, glad I did that, because I really managed to get some achievement done out of it. I didn't, obviously. It was awful. It was absolutely awful, and I wouldn't do any of it again. I wouldn't do any of those jobs again, and if I did, I'd do them differently. If I met a younger version of myself, I think I'd tell them life hurts less when you care less. Just don't let them do it to you. These jobs are just that. They're just jobs. Everyone I've seen, every job I've ever had that's put me through hell, and I've put myself through hell with them, I've decided, I'm not getting bullied enough here at work by the managers. I think I'll join in and give myself a terrible time. Whenever I've left and it's come to an end and I've said, enough's enough, I can't take it anymore, I'm going, the following day it's not existed anymore. That job hasn't existed, that stress hasn't existed, and I haven't existed to them. I've never met a manager or a colleague that I've ever worked for who said, oh, you know what, after you left, we really did notice a big... Of course they bloody didn't, did they? They just hired some other idiot to do it. And it all just carried on, and the beat goes on, and we all just carry on doing it. I say we, I mean, it's probably not everybody. I don't know. Because there's the shame involved as well, and being male, you don't tend to go up to other guys and go, do you find yourself waking up at 3 in the morning and like not being able to sleep just through pure agony of stress? Do you do that? Because there's the machismo, isn't there? They're going to go, no, think you need to go see a psychiatrist, mate. And so you don't. I don't. You just put up with it. And I think being tall as well, you don't want to be seen as like some sissy going like, this is killing me. This stress is killing me. The way you talk to me is killing me. These expectations you have of me are killing me. The undermining you do of me is killing me. Everything you do, I would personally prefer it if you came up to my desk and beat me up. I'd recover from it quicker. I'd certainly recover from it quicker, and I would certainly feel less beaten by it. I certainly would. Sorry to sound negative, but I do feel like that. I don't feel like it anymore. That's the important thing, I think, is what I'm trying to say is I have learned. So one positive that's come through all of this is I have learned it isn't worth it. It isn't worth it. Unless it's your business, unless you've set a little business up, which I have done in the past, and that's enormously stressful, but enormously rewarding. And every pound that I made through that, I felt like I made that. That was mine. Every time I saw the bank balance increasing, I did that. Nobody else did that. That was me. That was worth the stress. That was worth the worry. Very few other times I have. I mean, you meet these monsters in the workplace who talk to people like garbage. And then when you pull them up on it, they go, yeah, I'm really sorry about that. It's just that I'm really passionate about what I do. No, you're not. You're just horrible. You're not passionate about what you do unless you own the business. Why would you be passionate about it? You're not. You're just horrible and you like hurting people. And as they say, hurt people. I often do wonder that. When someone is horrible in the workplace, what's happened to them? What's going on at home? What's going on behind the doors? It's easy to just be angry with them, which I often am, and I think stay away from me. We'll all get on fine. But then afterwards, I often think there's something unmet within you. Maybe it's an unmet grief. Maybe it's something going on at home. Maybe you just don't like yourself. But all in all, you don't make for good company, and they're best avoided. If you can keep them to an absolute minimum in your work life, do, because don't take them home with you. Then they're not good bedfellows, I can tell you that much. I've done it, not literally, but I have certainly laid awake at night thinking, why is so-and-so talking to me like this, and why is so-and-so... Having said that, I have confronted it in the past on a few occasions, said, what's your problem, what's going on? And actually been really glad I have, because they've been quite honest back and said, I just don't like the way you do X, Y and Z. And I've explained it and said, it's because of X, Y and Z. And then you can say, I don't like the way you do this. And they've explained it to me. And we've actually ended up getting on slightly better than the fiery hellscape than it was before. We're not friends, but, it's workable. It's workable. But please, if you're in the workplace, as I know many of us are, and you're getting the Sunday jingle jangles, really take stock on it and think, how much of this is worth taking on? How much of this will be relevant in 5 years, 10 years, 100 years, next week? How much of this is going to benefit me? What is it doing to me? Is this hurting me? Am I going to take anything from this that's going to benefit me or anyone else, my family? The answer is probably no. And be kinder to yourself. Give yourself a break. Give yourself, even if it's just 10 minutes here and there, to go away and some self-affirmations if they work. Do something, but don't let it bring you down. Don't let it get to you. Don't let it hurt you as much any more than it's worth. And it's not worth it. It really, really isn't. So find something. For me, it's walking. For me, it's just getting out there, listening to these annoying crickets that seems to be in every country that I go to, and just breathing it in, getting some walking done, getting some exercise done, eating better, staying away from the booze that you think is going to help, and just let me tell you, it isn't. And just giving yourself the best chance. And it's almost like, as I said earlier, like an invisible suit of armour that you've bought yourself. So when you go in on the Monday, you've got your shield up, you're ready, you're battle ready, and you'll get through it. You will get through it. But it's all about having some form of preparation for it. You can do it. You will do it. But it won't happen to you. It won't get better without you taking the bull by the horns, as it were. I don't mean that in an aggressive way. I just mean you have to do something. You have to say, if this problem is happening to you, you really do have to think to yourself, right, how am I going to do this? What's the way that's best comfortable for me? Because you read things online sometimes, going, the best thing to do is to go in and go straight up to that person and say, hey, that might not suit you, and they might just laugh at you and say, well, that's not you. You've really got to be honest with yourself and say, okay, what suits me? What's my best way of doing it? But it has to be something. And if that means, in your private life, you get yourself fitter and stronger and not drinking, whatever it takes, but do it. And going in and going through that, you can do, I don't want to say you can do better as in you can get a better job and oh you can do so much better than what you're doing now, because that sounds vaguely insulting, but you can do better than giving yourself a bad chance and giving yourself a bad week and a bad run of it. And I mean, really, we should all be living like this fellow here. Look at this. Hello. Hello there. Good morning to you. Oh. I'll leave him in peace. He's looking a bit, so he's actually looking a bit stressed, so I'll leave him be. But what I've started doing is bringing a packet of dog biscuits out with me, so I'll go back and give them to him in a minute. And hey guys, good morning. I'll go back and give him some breakfast. But yeah, give yourself the best chance. Give yourself a break and be kind to yourself, because it's just not worth it otherwise. Time is so fleeting, life is so fast. You don't want to get to 10 years down the road and you're thinking, I really could have had a better run of this. I really could have been nicer to myself, and I'm suffering. Because you will. The stress will hurt you. And you can do better. And I don't want to say that. So, I said we were going to go to Humayun's tomb this week, and we didn't because I forgot until I got here and thought, oh, we're not there. We will go there next week. We'll have a walk around there. Hopefully a bit of a more positive walk next week. But we'll see. We'll see. So until next time, thank you for joining me for my walk. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. We'll see you next week, and walk tall.